I recorded the record with Steve Osborne at Real World Studios, which is an hour outside of London. Completely different approach to making music and making a record than I've ever had before. And I was lucky enough to take Ari Ingber from The Upwelling and Patrick Hallahan from My Morning Jacket with me, and I also hooked up with a children's choir and made this record to tape. All of it was analog as well. I don't know if you, even as a writer, anyone that's creating something knows that there's always this risk where whatever your initial idea is gets, by the end, changed. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the worse for wear. And sometimes you lose the initial vibe, the initial idea. And I have done that before, and I didn't want to do that anymore. It's interesting because along the way you don't know how you ended up from A to Z. You don't know what happened in between, where there's many elements to things that I've done that I really connect with and I love. And there's also, when I go back and listen to demos, I'm like, that's a different vibe than the end. And so I would say that Steve Osborne is kind of like the ultimate vibe protector, you know. And I know he's worked with people from like U2 to Katie. I mean, he's a really impressive wizard of a man. At the end of the day, I think he's one of the most sensitive people to vibe, like for lack of a better word, and he wants to protect it. And it's the first time I've ever done these kind of like little demos where I listen to my record that we made. It is the initial pure sound that we had in our heads to begin with. There's a book called The Creative Habit by Twyla Tharp, and she dives into what writer's block is and how it can be used as how it is actually kind of like these rumblings are going on and you are moving forward, but you have nothing to show for it, and sometimes it's extremely important to evolving. And so I definitely was in about, I think like a 2-year period where I literally just watched and listened and traveled like a gypsy and tried to let things unfold in the way that they would. In that time, I was writing these little instrumental pieces of music for film scores that didn't, you know, there are no films, but so I think that kind of kept me going a bit. And then there was one song that I could feel the shift in the writing, and it was a song called London. And I wrote it in London, and it's a very simple song. It's a very sad song, but it was important, and it was the gateway to the writing for the rest of the project. The writer's block, whatever that was, has been a real launching pad for me because I am still writing. It hasn't stopped yet. But Rabbits on the Run is a complete statement. You know, it's like that one's that, and then I feel like what I'm writing now might be for something else. I was a little nervous today because I wanted to sing the song well. And this is a wonderful song written by Brian Jonestown Massacre, the band. It's called David Bowie, I Love You Since I Was 6. So this is the best way to do it incognito if you ever need to sneak peek to lyrics. And then when in doubt, wear a nice ring, because then people kind of just go to the ring first maybe before the ink. And then, so this is the first verse, chorus, second verse, outro.